On day 4, it'll dawn with Deborah feeding the animals. We'll be leaving our hotel and heading to the central train station. There we'll buy our tickets and get on the train and head off. For today, we'll be leaving Amsterdam and traveling by train to Haarlem for the day, or at least the morning. Trains are very nice and very well appointed, and as we leave the city, you can see the apartment buildings and graffiti. Getting out of the city, we find houseboats on the lakes. We find large amounts of water in places. And you can see here how flat the land is with the polders, as they're called. And this is an interesting thing. They raise the roof on the hay house as the hay comes in by sliding it up these poles. As we continue on, you can see the bike paths along the train routes, along all the major roads also, so you can bicycle and walk, and even bridges across the water canals. There are many canals and bridges as we go through that boat traffic passes through, and eventually we end up at Haarlem. We get off our train. The train station there is under repairs, as many things are, but we'll be spending most of our time in the central part of the city. We'll be traveling down Main Street to Corrie ten Boom's house, then through the marketplace to St. Bavo before leaving and going back to the train station. The central street is like any typical Dutch city, we're understanding. And as you look around, you'll also find the canals. We come to the Corrie ten Boom Museum, which is above the Ten Boom Jewelers. And behind it also. This is a place where they hid, even though they were Christians, Jewish people and others who were being hunted by the Nazi regime. They were eventually betrayed and arrested. Corrie was a jeweler, and as you can see here, some of the young people that were being hidden. Behind her, that hole in the wall was not there in the hiding place, but has been done. They were arrested, sent to prison camps, and all but Corrie died. You can see the yellow part, which was the actual house. Corrie's room was the highest. And you would travel in a zigzag manner up the stairs to get to Corrie's room, and that's why it was chosen as the hiding place, because the Gestapo took longer to get there.
A piece of plaster, water spots on the wallpaper, even Corrie could not see any difference between the other walls. And here, that you can sit on the video, this is the entrance. So look what I'm doing. It is a sliding panel. Oh wow. And when it is closed, and some linen in front of the entrance, no difference between the other parts.
Corrie in her latter life traveled the world telling of the love of Jesus Christ. This is the street Corrie lived on. And over here is St. Bavo's church. The Groot Market is the central square, and was where the market was being held. And this building is the old market, and you can see some of the new stores. Let's look around a little bit in the town square. We will be eating here for lunch before we head back, but we won't be eating salted herring, and we probably won't be eating at McDonald's as the prices are extremely high. Much higher than here, almost double. St. Bavo's is an interesting church. It's like many of the churches there in Holland. As you can see from this model, it had stores all around it that they used for raising money by renting spaces to various merchants. You can see some of those stores here on the side of the church. The church was built in various phases, but the most important thing there is going to be the pipe organ. This church boasts one of the greatest organs in Europe. Christian Mueller built it. Handel played it in 1738. Mozart played it as a child prodigy in 1766. It's often been used for concerts, recordings, and many other things. Many artists have painted the inside of this building. The columns were painted also beautifully. The ship shows the ship of the church sailing over safe waters, and here we see the place where the knights would have sat. As we leave the church, you'll see that they're working on paving the street, but they pave with bricks, you'll notice. The church is visible from almost any place in the city, and we head back to the train station. Right above us. And since our train's about to leave, we rush to the train and get on and leave. As we leave the city, we see the windmill and the church. And now arriving back in Amsterdam on the train, we'll be looking at Amsterdam the rest of the day. Amsterdam at the Central Station. We'll now be going to the Waterloopen Flea Market, Rembrandt's house, before going over to the museum area where we'll see the Reich Museum and the Van Gogh Museum. We'll then travel back to the Pancake Bakery near our hotel where we will eat. We'll listen to a street musician as we walk through the Waterloopen Market.
Everything to walk by it.
Did you know what they say? One man's trash.
Next up is Rembrandt's house. He bought this house in 1639 for 13,000 guilders, but never paid it off, and eventually it was auctioned off and all its contents. Since there was a great record kept of what was there during the auction, they were able to restore everything where it originally was.
Salon right there. This is where he printed.
Our next stop will be the Reich Museum. It's the large museum there, but only a small part of it's open now due to renovations.
We were in this little annex here.
we'll head over to the Van Gogh Museum. It consists of two parts, the temporary exhibits and the regular exhibits. We'll mainly spend time in the regular exhibits. Then it's time to eat a little supper at the Pancake Bakery. They cook all types of pancake, hundreds of different kinds, and they're very huge. And then off to bed.